I've titled Spot the Difference. Part is kind of like partly like a play on words because there are literal kind of spots and holes in the work, but also kind of like I've mentioned before that we were sort of in discussion with like our lecturers about that kind of moment and that memory and why it was significant. And a lecturer sort of said to me like, it was probably the significance seems to be like behind the memory that it wasn't necessarily the kind of physical action itself, but it was the kind of realization that it doesn't necessarily matter what you're wearing. Because I've thought about a lot about the fact that like I wasn't in anything provocative or that would invite sexualized behavior, and and yet that happened. So it was kind of clicking in the mind that sometimes you can be very safe um, and still be around people that invite negative space into the environment. So that's kind of where that title sort of came from, like figuring out those different spaces and navigating them.
Hmm. Spot the difference is also, I think, is it also kind of like it's a game, but
Yeah.
is it kind of, it's quite tailored. It's like something you'd play when you were younger, and it's all about kind of,
Well, you know,
um,
I always
yeah,
like to nod back to the adult child. I think there's a lot of kind of naivety in my practice and sort of the me figuring out. I think part a lot of my practice, like where we've had to do these kind of artist statements and stuff, I've realized a lot of what I do is kind of the figuring out of my own identity. And I think a lot
mm,
of that is always going to be hand in hand with like a child and an adult sort of tussling with that. So the kind of child sort of plays through into my work quite a lot, but also kind of like the game aspects in the work. I've used kind of poker chips as like this circular object in the work because it was kind of like this idea of like playing the odds and like this person was trying to see like what they could get away with and stuff. So that sort of game aspect comes in there again with that.